Hey guys, for this video we're going to take a look at this Winsome Claire accent table that I recently picked up on Amazon. We're going to open it up, show you how to put it together, and then take a look at the final product. Here are all the parts and pieces that come in the box. We also get the instructions and a little bit of hardware. We have some of the plugs here as well as the knob, some screws and an Allen wrench in here. And the instructions are just the front and back of one sheet of paper. So hopefully not too difficult. Let's start with step one. For step one, we're adding these little rails to the top panel. It's the one with the arch curved edge there. Now these only fit in one spot. There's these holes right here you're screwing into. These won't fit going this way. They only fit going that way, so you know how they go. The recessed portion of these holes should be facing you so the screw can sink down into them. And it says the screws we're using are 02, and if we look at the bag, there's a label that says 02. So, put these 4 screws in. For step 2, we're going to be adding our legs and the lower shelf. They're going to screw into these holes here using the longer screws. This bag is also labeled. See, that is N2. And if I didn't mention earlier, the hex key needed to tighten your bolts is included in the package. See, I started adding one leg there. We're going to get the other one started and then get that shelf. That wraps up that step. It's just as simple as those 4 bolts at the top and bottom and on both sides. Let's move on to the next step. Looks like we're going to set the table aside and work on our drawer. It's going to be our only pieces left, and it looks like the screws are M2. Which this bag isn't labeled, but it's the only screws we have in here, and we have a little dowel in there too. Now here's what that's going to look like. Really the only thing to pay attention to is that you have your slot in the same spot all the way around. You don't want to have this piece flipped over like so, where your line's in the wrong spot. So we're going to have 2 screws here, 2 screws here on both sides. For this step, we're using Phillips screws. So you're going to need your own screwdriver to do that. I tighten them on the front of each. We're going to stand this guy up, stick our panel in these grooves, and let it slide on down into place. Make sure it gets seated all the way down in this lower groove. And now we can add the back panel and put our screws in on the ends for that. Once that bottom panel's on, we need to put the knob on, and it uses the same screws you've been using. Obviously, just right there. And there we go. We can slide our drawer in. Now this dowel that's included is the drawer stop, so you can't just pull it all the way out and it falls to the floor. And if you feel up underneath here, there's a hole where this is just going to push into. And there we go. Stops it from falling all the way out. Now we just got to add our plugs to cover our screws. Got the plugs all inserted for this side. I mean, you can try just pushing them with your finger, but they're not going to stay in. Ideally, you would use a rubber or plastic mallet. You can also just use a hammer. Just be careful not to damage anything. But you're going to want to tap those in so they actually stay in, don't just fall right out. Well, here's a look at our finished product. Grab a measuring tape here in a second, give you a few dimensions of it. Get a few measurements here. Overall height is 22 inches. Our tabletop, front to back, 18 1/8. I'm guessing it's square, but we'll find out. It is square. The depth of our drawer. Depth of the drawer is about 2.5 inches. The inside of the drawer, left to right, is 12 inches. Front to back is 13 5/8. So there you have it, the Winsome black accent table. Thanks for watching.